As my badge says, the Religious Society of Friends, but no one knows us as that. Everyone calls us Quakers. To the point that when I first joined, there used to be a whiteboard on the pod, and Philip in the morning would just write up who had the pod time, and he put sort of 10 to 11 RSF, and I went up to him and I was like, I've booked 10 to 11? Who are these RSF people? Why do they have my booking? And he just gave me this look, and he was like, it's you. And I was like, oh, okay. So to answer the first question, everyone always asks me, no, I'm not a Quaker personally myself, but obviously working for them, I have a lot of sympathy with the values and views that they have. Quaker work is really, really varied. They've been going since 1652, so they have almost 400 years of experience of working in the peace movement. They've been in a lot of the most radical movements in the UK, so they were a big part of the anti-slavery movement. They had the model villages in the Victorian days. Joseph Rowntree was a Quaker. He had a trust after he died that was set up just to buy up the media to make sure we could have an unbiased, unowned media. Unfortunately, that one's not worked. And there's lots and lots of other stuff they've done, lots of prison reform stuff, lots of stuff in criminal justice, lots of violence prevention. We supported equal marriage since 2009, and we're very proud that we were one of the few churches that actually made that decision. And there's just a lot of work on sustainability, on equality, and although I'm not a Quaker, I've come to love a little Quaker saying, which is, we believe there is that of God in everybody. And I think that's where they base a lot of their work from, that everybody deserves the respect and the chances that everybody else has, and that's what they work on. So a lot of my work has been on peace work and anti-militarism work. Some of you will know I've had a really big petition in the Scottish Parliament, which was heard just a couple of weeks ago by the Public Petitions Committee, about armed forces, visits to schools to recruit. So that's a really big part of my work. I'm also starting some work on tax, and I know nothing about tax. So if any of you know anything about tax, please speak to me and tell me, because I'm reading a book and it's just confusing me even more. But we're having a big symposium at the end of October. Fortunately, I'm not talking at it, so that's okay. So these are the kind of things that we do. So it's really quite varied, and it's quite different because we are partly a charity, but also it's very much informed by the church side of Quakers as well, which I sometimes forget a little bit. And it's been going for a long, long time. So there's lots of connections around there and around the globe, and that makes it really, really interesting. But I'm the only person in Scotland. Everybody else works in London, which can be a little weird at times. I get an email that goes around all of the staff when someone's come back from holiday going, the chocolates are just by my desk. And I've been so tempted to email everyone in London and go, the chocolates are just by my desk too. And then realise that's a bit passive-aggressive and might not come across so well. But that's why I really like coming into the melting pot, because people come and they do bring the chocolates from their holiday or their cake. So I don't feel quite so left out, because I'm an extrovert. So I get lots of energy from being around people and talking to people. And if I was working at home, I'd just wilt and become incredibly sad and just miserable. So having somewhere where I can come in and I still have the ability to sort of chat over a cup of tea or talk to somebody, or sometimes even vent if I've had a really bad day, actually makes a really big difference to my day-to-day working life. And I think I'm much, much happier being a member of the melting pot here than I would be if I was at home on my own. And also, I think the lovely thing is the people they have as members tend to have, we're not all working in the same fields, but there tends to be similar values that are running through what people are doing. And that means there's a lot of commonality. And there's lots of people I've maybe met once and chatted to over a cup of tea, and I've gone away feeling so inspired by what they're doing, or they've sparked off a whole new raft of ideas or a whole new area that I can start looking into. And that's really important, actually. And I think also another thing is the staff. So last week I had an awful week because one of our partner organisations really let me down on a piece of work I was doing, and I had to get 200 envelopes and address them all and stuff them all myself in about the space of 4 hours, which was a little bit stressful, plus pay for it all through my own money, which I'm still annoyed about. But what was really nice was sort of Cleo and Philip just every so often came up and sort of went, "You okay? You okay? How's it going? Is it okay?" And then when I finished it at the end, they were like, "Yay, well done, you did it." And were like celebrating with me. And I think that shows that they're much more than people who just sort of sit on reception and answer the phone. You know, they actively really try to create the community here. And I think that's one of the reasons why the melting pot's really important, and one of the reasons why I'm really glad I found it as well.